Right, well, the UK's political landscape just shifted dramatically as Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana, two ex Labour MPs, members of parliament, launched a brand new left wing party that's already attracted over 600,000 sign-ups in the first week alone. Labour, just to compare, the party currently in government, in power in the United Kingdom, likely have a membership figure lower than that. 600,000, though we can't know for sure because perhaps because it got so bad in terms of membership drops as Keir Starmer took over and the Labour Party moved ahead without Corbyn, that the Labour Party now refuse to be public about membership figures. Now, if you don't know, the advanced economy of the United Kingdom has two leading parties. It's basically these two that sort of trade between each other. There's the Lib Dems as well. There's sort of like a somewhat side dish third party, but mainly it's been Labour on the left, political left, and the Tories, which is the nickname of the Conservatives, which are on the political right. But there's also now Nigel, might as well be, um, Staphylococcus nigella, or Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage is another individual here, a parliamentarian, who has set up the Reform UK party, which is even more right wing than the Conservatives. It's a populist party that takes legitimate concerns, admittedly, of the British people, a section of the British electorate, such as uncontrolled illegal immigration into the country, and weaponizes that through use of emotive language, appealing to the emotion of the people and the fears of the people to drive policies that are not particularly well evidenced to actually fix any of the ills that ordinary citizens in the country suffer from. Now, analytically speaking, because I'm not throwing my support behind any particular party, I'm not here to be an activist, I'm here to be an analyst, which is my unique facet that I fill. I'm just giving you the information, and then you can go off and you can decide for yourself what side deserves your support, if any, or you can just sit in the middle and watch because you care about, you want to be informed, but you don't particularly want to actually be an activist. Anyway, analytically speaking, the Tories were right wing, Reform are further right wing, like you could say far right, and Labour were supposed to be left wing. Traditionally, they have been. Right, this is from back in the days when they set up the NHS, the National Health Service, that provides free healthcare to all British citizens. And in addition to British citizens, actually, there's quite a few others who live in the country that benefit from that. But they've moved away from that now. Labour are very different from when they first founded the NHS and all that. Economic, foreign policy wise, and a host of other departments now have shown Labour to be far more of a Tory light, a sort of diet Pepsi in terms of politics. If the right wing Conservatives are the full sugar Pepsi, Labour's like diet Pepsi or Pepsi Max. I personally am a Pepsi Max man. There's obviously BDS questions behind. Anyway, the point is, there's a vacuum in British politics because there is no real left anymore, especially not a motivating, inspiring left for the people who sit politically left by and large in the country. They had Labour, now it's gone. So anyone who votes Tory can just vote Tory. Anyone who wants to go even more to the right can vote Reform. Anyone who's left, they don't actually have anything left in the left. They have Labour, which is like right wing light or centrist almost at this point, right? Enter former Labour leader, booted out of leadership and then out of the party effectively on charges of anti Semitism. What did he say or do? I literally don't know. I literally couldn't find anything that Jeremy Corbyn has said that would be considered by the common man or woman anti Semitic. But the former populist heavyweight has returned, Jeremy Corbyn. But unlike Voldemort, he's not back to establish a reign of terror, but to found a new political party. The name, nobody knows, not even Corbyn himself. They're calling it the spectacularly boring Your Party, not the spectacularly boring part, but the Your Party part. And Zarah Sultana, co founder, another British member of parliament, co founder of this new Corbyn-led party, suggested calling it the Left Party. Both, in my view, are terrible names. What is going on? Uh, Hopefully, their policies are superior to their naming creativity. Suggest some names, guys, because wow, these are not catchy and they absolutely need the help. Now, this new party, this movement represents the most significant challenge to Labour's dominance from the left, dominance in the left in decades. The left has always been Labour, right? Now there's a new contender that says, no, we're the real left. Your Diet Pepsi will not fly anymore. Jeremy Corbyn has joined forces with 30-year-old Zarah Sultana, who quit Labour herself after being suspended for voting against the two-child benefit cap. That was a big deal in the UK. So after two children, any additional children you have, the UK government says, we're not going to pay you for benefits. It obviously harms larger families, even though, ironically, economically, the assessment is you need more manpower for the coming years. The population in the UK, in terms of the younger generation, is skewed heavily to be below replacement levels. So the UK population will slowly get older and older and become basically incapable of running the economy, because you'll have loads of old people and not enough young people to support them. But yeah, let's not worry about that. Let's fight immigration. Or let's just suspend the benefits cap for families with for larger families. Now, the new left, right? I call it super left. Their platform centers on wealth redistribution, nationalizing key industries. Nationalizing means taking it from private control into state control so that the state pays to keep it running, and then if there's any profit, the state actually acquires the profit for themselves, as opposed to private control, which is when a company basically makes profits and it goes into the pockets of the rich top executives, right? So this new party is all about wealth distribution, nationalizing key industries, and unwavering support for equity and fairness on the matter of Palestine, including ending arms sales to Israel. So a very bold position. The party emerged from the Independent Alliance. It's a group of 6 members of parliament who won seats last year on pro-justice platforms, pro-Gaza justice platforms, sorry. So they were vocally supportive of Gaza in a political climate where, Keir Starmer, I call him Keir every way the wind blows Starmer. Whichever the way the political wind's blowing, he will go in that direction. It's very hard to know what he actually stands for, this man. So for better or worse, I'm just giving you the analysis, right? So every way the wind blows Starmer was blowing back then, was blowing in the direction of Israel has the right to defend itself. Someone asked him if Israel has a right to cut food, water, and power, and he basically said, yeah, they kind of have that right, right? That clip is still circulating. They have that right, he said, about the Israeli state. So this, former humanitarian rights lawyer, I think, human rights lawyer, I say former because right now he's not obviously practicing as a human rights lawyer. Not sure if he ever can. But this former human rights lawyer had that position on Gaza, and in that climate, some of these members of parliament, these independent members, they won seats on a pro-Gaza ticket on a platform where they said, "I'm pro-Gaza justice." So that's interesting to note, that these will be the people working with the new super left, as I keep calling it, because it's catchy. It sounds like super dry. You could keep the red scheming as well. Anyway. I just want to point out at this point, Israel and Gaza, yes, I'm still talking about it, so subscribe please to my YouTube channel, because if Western spin agents come after this channel, agents of the Western spin, I need to stay connected to you guys through every platform possible. And check my links in my bio if you're watching this on TikTok. There's a whole bunch of ways actually to stay connected to me and receive your unbiased fact-based analysis without the Western spin. Now back to the topic to summarize. YouGov polling shows 18% of Brits would consider voting for a Corbyn-led political party, and with the potential to capture so much of the national vote this way, this could fundamentally reshape British politics. The timing isn't coincidental either, as Starmer's approval ratings, the Labour leader at the moment, hit all-time lows, and Labour faces internal rebellion over welfare cuts like the two-child benefits cap and over its Gaza policy. There's fighting within Labour members of Parliament. The Super Left conference this autumn will determine the party's final name, and will also establish policies that organisers promise will go beyond even Corbyn's radical 2019 Labour manifesto. So he's going further. As for me, I am voting to call it the super left. I'm not saying I'm voting for the party or supporting them, but I'm calling for them to be called the super left.